Not the dude on the bottom left, but the guy that's going to pop up in the teeny little box on the upper left. Because keep in mind, this is a narcissistic reaction video. Yeah, not a good dude. As far as I know, he's currently incarcerated. You can look up the charges. They're not good. If you listen to the things that come out of his mouth, it's absolute nonsense. Lots of nonsense. Space propaganda, alien propaganda, things that have to do with history that don't reflect reality, building up certain groups of people to polarize folks, a number of things. It's just fucking rot. Have yourself a listen.
Structure, if you have carbon in you, is set up for you to do things that defies the laws of physics.
Or
this
shit.
is a scientific fact. This isn't an opinion. All right. This is why they put the GMOs in our foods our entire life, family. This is why they poison the soil. I don't give a fuck. Even if we're eating fruit, we're still eating poison. I repeat, even if we're eating fruit, even if we're trying to go vegan, we are still eating poison because they literally poisoned our entire soil. This is why our ancestors are back now, cleaning up the soil, going under the ground, getting those interterrestrials out of there that's been living under the ground, that's been running the earth, running the surface from inside of the earth. Right? They had to leave the planet. And like I told you, a lot of them left. Others are stuck and trapped trying to leave. Others are getting killed by our ancestors who are already here, who have been going underground. Who you think freed all those kids, family, that was underground, y'all? It's literally no more sex trafficking tunnels left. Who you think did that? That was our ancestors that did that. Like, you have to understand how deep this go. Like, and how we were attacked. You know, that's why I say go watch Avatar. Avatar clearly shows you how the fuck they came and landed on our planet and took over our shit. How they cut down our biggest tree. We really had a tree that was like, we had like all the mountaintops was trees, but we had a tree that was super huge, like that was like the tree of life, if you want to call it that. We really had that tree. They cut it down. Understand the connection to the trees. Understand that you are electricity. You are not your body. A lot of us have never seen real nature. Like, we don't know that we haven't seen real trees. This is why I'm emphasizing trees. This is why I started off talking about these trees. All right, because the ancestors wanted me to tell you this. And I'm giving you all this download for a reason. I'm emphasizing this for a reason. All right? They're literally tearing up the planet.
Don't live on a planet. I forgot this guy's name. I'm sure you could figure it out if you put in the time. That's how I figured out his name the first time. I don't think it's listed in here. Nah, I don't see it right there. It might be in... no, there isn't Seymour or whatever the fuck. This is what I left on here. I want you to appreciate that if you think in terms of... Okay. Nazi Germany. Right? There was a group of people telling other people associated with that group of people that they were all powerful and they were this, that, and the other thing. And the same thing is repeating itself, but the flip side today in a number of ways. And it's fucking spooky. It's really spooky, but it has to do with the changing of the guard. It has to do with the sacred feminine and the sacred masculine flip-flopping. And most people aren't thinking in terms of these things. It doesn't come up because most people aren't thinking. I know that sounds rough. If you listen to what our masters are shopping around lately, it's plain as day on the surface. It has to do with man merging with machine as well. Cuts two different ways in terms of people having superpowers and having all these abilities and blah, 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 and how some people will be better than other people, supposedly. You see it in the programming. There's something called Gen V. It's a bastard version. In other words, it's like a standalone cash grab type of a show that branched off of that show, The Boys. And it is rife with divisive propaganda, to say the very least. But part of what it rattles off is that the soups, or the superhumans in that case, are better than the humans. It's the same fucking message, but people probably lack abstract thought, so they can't connect the dots that I'm stringing together. I realize I'm also not just thinking for you and spelling every single little fucking thing out. Because that's not the point. The point's for you to think. Instead of watching superficial shit like this and repeating it. Let's see how many people are following this account. And did you read what I left in here? Probably not. Said, hey, it's that guy that lied to people and promoted space propaganda. And then the other one you should probably read. And look it up. A lot of abuse charges. He's still under 2,000. Still under, what was it, 1,500 even. But he's shopping this shit around. And that's unfortunate. Regardless of creed or color, what matters is the message and the messenger. I mean, if you haven't looked into the people that you're shopping around on your fucking page, well, then you got another thing coming. Not to mention, I mean, what this guy's rattling off is adult fairy tale sensational horseshit that doesn't reflect reality because it's in place to mislead people. It's that simple. Talking about how there aren't any more underground, this, that, and the other thing, and this was resolved all in thanks to... You heard the message, right? It frustrates me. The point is for all of us to band together. The point is for us to challenge ourselves, and by doing so, challenge each other. And only by doing both of those activities beforehand are we going to be able to challenge our masters. In other words, the point is to know as much as our masters, if not more. But most people assume that they don't have masters. And when I rattle things like that off, the same people who will squabble about the next election are the same people who will tell me that they don't have masters, and they'll make a snide comment or try to sound clever and ask me, well, who are your masters? All presidents are low-level masters. Stewards of the corporation. The District of Columbia. You have some people who will babble about a black pope and a white pope. You don't need two, but just the same, people are aware of the pope. Another low-level master. You've heard of the royal family? Low-level masters. And I just outlined the trilateral city-states in reverse. Another one on top of the food chain having to do with the crown, otherwise known as the city, or financial banking center is what I'm trying to spit out. Look up the black nobility. It has nothing to do with what you probably think based on what I'm showing you right here. But it has everything to do with Spain. And a number of houses, 7 houses in particular. Look up the House of Liechtenstein or the House of Orange, just to name 2 of them that I remember offhand. But when I say stuff like this, people don't look it up usually. People don't look into these things. Most people don't care, because you have sensational shit like this to repeat. Now the dude in the upper left, not a good dude at all. Based on his character, based on his actions. Whoever's barbecuing in there, I have no idea what those kids are about. But the dude who posted this, maybe that is him and his family, I have no idea. 1, he bought into the narcissistic reaction videos, which means he's following trends instead of thinking for himself. And 2, again, he posted this shit to the internet. He's got over 1,000 people following his account, which is irresponsible to post something like this and not look into it first. Unless he means to mislead people. And he's talking about good and evil. It's as frustrating as it is hilarious. Is one way I could put this. And this makes me want to talk about a whole nother subject, which I won't get into. Maybe I'll make another video just so it's not too confusing. Adding more to this. Yeah. As always, what the fuck do I know? This is something I found on the internet. In between what I leave on the internet being censored, to say the least.